Yeah, well, we're excited to get into top 4 here. We have our first ever expanded retro tournament. We're going to be seeing the Primal Groudon deck piloted by Alvi, or the Extreme Enigma, up against this Night March deck from Gumi. And wow, I'm noticing the but I think they're playing on an iPad or something, so the way that their screen is oriented is a little bit wonky. It's a little bit stretched out here, but just glad to have a stream at all. We see the Regirock come down in the pass. And yeah, so talk about the key to the matchup. I mean, you mentioned this Gumi, which ironically is being played against Gumi. And you mentioned this before, that it obviously makes it so that Joltik and Pumpkaboo can no longer attack for just the double colorless attachment. There is, of course, that one Silent Lab. But what do you think is going to be like the big key to the matchup here? If there's like one card that swings it, what would you say it is?
I think there's a lot of like little interactions back and forth here. So I mean, the Night March has escape route, which can be really big because it means that there can't just be a Primal Groudon on the bench, because I do believe escape route will still push the Primal Groudon to the active.
It will. Yeah.
I could be wrong there.
Well, actually, no. I think the way it works was it could push it out of the active, but it couldn't move it from the bench to the active if it's the only Pokemon. I forget which way that works, but it's one of the two that like it works one way but not the other.
So these escape route, if it works, could cause issues.
Yeah.
The let loose is very good against Groudon as well. Obviously, these electro powers in March are going to mean that this Night March actually can reach numbers to one-shot a Primal Groudon, which, if the Night March player plays smart and they hold on to those electro powers, they don't burn too many resources too fast, they can certainly pull off a big one-shot Primal Groudon turn. And I mean, Primal Groudon isn't exactly known for setting up a second Primal Groudon.
Right. And this deck does play, it has the 2 electro powers plus the dowsing machine, obviously plus the 2 choice bands. So you can just hit for huge numbers with those. You could even play like triple electro power in a turn in combination with the choice band. So like you said, we could definitely see a huge one-hit KO on a Groudon.
On the other hand, though, we actually see the Primal Groudon plays 2 Focus Sash. And that Focus Sash cannot be discarded by anything because Field Blower cannot target Primal Groudon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if the Groudon player can just get set up fast enough, if they can get their Groudon out before it gets pushed up and hit first, then they can be swinging with a Primal Groudon with a Focus Sash on it, take 1 prize with that, and then go ahead and switch or Guzma into that Miltank with a Waholis energy, fully heal it off, and keep attacking with it with another Focus Sash.
And we saw the Bent Spoon come down onto that benched Regirock. I genuinely do not remember what that card was attack for at this time. Do you remember what that is for?
In Groudon,
I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, what is?
There's Trompa GX potentially. Trying to think of what else was. There weren't a lot of Pokemon that had effects of attacks.
Was it maybe like Feeny and Greninja or something? Maybe. Trying to think.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna look up and see.
It's eluding me right now, but for those who don't know, the Bent Spoon removes the or prevents all effects of attacks except for damage done to the Pokemon it's attached to. So I'm trying to think of exactly what that was there for, but
I mean, I'm looking at the day 2 from that event, and I'm not seeing.
Meanwhile, we did just see a second double colorless committed to the Joltik to take out just a Gumi, so that was a pretty unfortunate interaction for Gumi.
Yeah. It is for the Articuno GX.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep, that seems pretty important.
Yeah, I think that's what they're playing it for.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
I think the match is pretty good regardless, but it does certainly let you set up a lot quicker. you'd rather not lose a full 4 energy, preferably.
And we did just see the KO immediately from the Joltik, taking out that Wobbuffet. So now you look at the board for this Groudon, you have 2 Pokemon that cannot be gusted sitting on the bench, plus a Robo-Sub in the active. So Groudon has some time here. You did get the attachment down, so 1 more attachment and we can start swinging with that Groudon.
I don't want to lose this. Oh, they're gonna rope. Okay. See, I don't know if they needed to rope this turn. I don't necessarily want to lose this Joltik with a choice belt on it. I maybe would have just played a supporter and went for the Sky Return on Robo-Sub. But I suppose they can Dowsing rope again. Okay, now that because the Milting is benched now, this is interesting. Faba on the double colorless energy. Okay, they're not going to knock it. We could see another rope now, right? Or we could just see Guzma on the Miltank, which is probably better.
Yeah, and it sets you up to even prizes, which is good. Brings you down to just being 1 KO away from taking out the game with that Groudon. There was a Focus Sash on it, though, so we are going to have to go through that at some point. Meanwhile, my live stream is continuing to drop frames once again, so if anyone can still hear me on the live stream, I apologize for whatever is happening. My Wi-Fi has been historically bad lately, so I apologize for that. Maybe when I'm in Minnesota, it will be a little bit better, hopefully. But we see a Faba come down again, so now 2 DCEs chilling in the loss zone.
I'd ideally here like to see a rope on the Groudon and then a Juniper and a Sky Return to break the Sash.
Yeah, Sky Return would definitely set up pretty nicely. Preserves the energy so it can't get Faba'd, of course. Takes the Shaman out of play, so those are 2 free prizes gone. And just breaks the Sash, which is obviously going to be the most important thing here. So yes, the interaction there, we did clear it up. So I think it's this way that the escape rope works this way because it's targeting the active Pokemon. It's pushing that Pokemon to the bench. Whereas if the Groudon here, you cannot play the escape rope to push it out of the active. It's only into the active, since it's actually like more or less targeting the active Pokemon with that escape rope. So that clears up the, I'm like, that makes more sense now that I think about it, but that is how that interaction works.
So we actually see the...
Oh, no!
Well, they didn't know.
I don't know if they didn't know or maybe they just didn't really think it was going to be worthwhile to keep the Field Blower around. Did they teammates for it? I didn't quite catch that.
Maybe. I was just thinking if... I don't know if... if they did know, I don't know why they would attach the colorless energy to the Joltik over the Sky Return.
Right. And they had the option to go for the Sky Return, of course, with that flow set on the Guru. So maybe they must not have known, or maybe they just forgot. You know, it's an easy thing to forget, too.
Or they just weren't thinking about the Sky Return play.
Yeah.
As well as also a possibility.
Oh, but the hard retreat. Ooh, that feels horrible. And the hard charm comes down. The hard charm is useful. We have a beach to refill the hand, but now there's a Wobbuffet on the bench.
If there's any way to hand disrupt, yeah. So we're gonna see N, but that is not doing too much. Ideally, I know they play a Let Loose. I don't know if it's in discard or in deck, but if they can find a Let Loose.
Ooh, didn't see the Oranguru used.
Yeah, no Order Pad, no Construct.
Definitely would have liked that, especially since this Wobbuffet is coming into the active this turn. So now, if this Faba comes down on the Joltik, it's going to be that much harder to get another attack off. And we could just see this Groudon actually just Lost Zone all of these DCEs, and Night March can't even attack again. Yes, Ian, I do have water. What's up?
Ooh, we're going to see countercatch on the Shaman. That is huge. And now Faba is disaster.
Countercatcher is one of those cards that... Ooh, but we see the second Wobbuffet come down. That's a little bit spooky. But just to finish the comment quickly, the Countercatcher is one of those really cool cards that I feel like is extremely balanced, obviously needing the caveat of having less prizes remaining, or excuse me, more prizes remaining than your opponent. And it kind of always saw Fringe play as like a 1 of, maybe a 2 of in some extremely rare circumstances, but it always felt like a pretty balanced card in my opinion. I loved to have the one secret rare in my Greninja deck. So just one of those like really cool cards that you'd see crop up here and there, and I love the design of that kind of card. We see the potion. I didn't even notice there's one potion in this Groudon list. Asking for a friend, I'm afraid.
Potion Hard Charm is actually a really big deal here, because it means if that double colorless comes off the Joltik, the Sky Return won't knock out the Primal Groudon.
Right. Yeah, but the second Wobbuffet coming down, I guess, I mean, we still have to preserve this final DCE in hand. It comes down to, ooh, a Ninja Boy, so maybe we go into another Groudon, possibly? We have the Miltank as well.
The cream for the other Groudon.
Okay, I think the Miltank was in the discard pile as well. Oh my goodness, we're retreating? Alright, we have this special charge. Yeah, okay.
That's fair.
I was like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Probably just a deck search, honestly. Yeah, and just to thin it out for sure, draw more off beach. And unfortunately, we do have this wonderful little, the glitch on the screen. You can see the little arrow that is permanently stuck there. So, love that. Listen, of the glitches we could have between this and TCG Live, I will accept that one any day of the week.
Absolutely.
Now it switched sides, potentially. Yep, on the other side now. Grass is greener on the other side for sure.
Groudon player thinking... Maybe Note doesn't have anything here.
Karina.
Look at their options.
I mean, we're out of so many things. There's no way to get this Wobbuffet out of play either. Karen would just win Groudon in the game right here. Yeah. Oh, Scramble Switch, though. Okay, so Scramble Switch, and we have the Focus Sash. So this gives us a turn, a singular turn.
Yeah.
And this actually goes back to where the Field Blower was played. If you had held onto the Field Blower, that Groudon is not a Primal. You can actually use that Field Blower on it. So that would have been game ending if we had preserved that Field Blower instead of wasting it earlier in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this one might just be over. I think we've seen all of the potential, not lose conditions already played at this point.
Yeah, even if we see a Faba.
Yeah, but there's only one card left in deck.
But is it in this? Oh, they lose mean for it earlier. Oh, that's rough.
Oh,
they lose a mean for the Faba, and then it got shuffled back in at some point, so they can't reuse it.
And we do know, though, of course, that the last card in deck for Gumi, though, is that final DCE since they used the special charge on it back. So this one is just going to be over here, unfortunately, for our Groudon player. But Night March taken down game 1.
I'm wondering if the lose mean for the Faba, like how many turns they could have Faba that they had a Via Seeker in hand, but not the Faba in the discard because of the earlier lose mean. That might have punished them a little bit that game.
All right, well, we're going to get into game 2 here. And I think, a key that you mentioned there, Cyrus, was, needing to Faba a little bit earlier and more consistently, put the pressure on those valuable DCE resources. And we'll see if the Field Blower, I think this is a really intricate, the timing of getting your tools down if you're Groudon, like you can't play them down too early because they can get Field Blowered away. And we'll see if maybe that Field Blower can be preserved for like a very key turn. There's the Bent Spoon comes down. Of course, the Field Blower could just be a totally useless card if you just play your tools down in the right order, the correct times. But Sky is 2-0 at local control. Tornado warnings?
Because sometimes you have to bench that second Groudon with a Focus Sash, and I mean, as powerful as Omega Barrier is, you still have to, that Groudon still has to be in play on the bench, Goose Mobile for one turn, no matter what.
Unfortunately, the Field Blower in the opening hand, though.
Yeah. Honestly, it's not bad to get rid of the Beach. Beach is, I probably wouldn't have gotten rid of the bent spoon. I don't know if it matters. I don't know if the Groudon plays any float stone.
I think it does
So it might not
actually.
matter.
It
Yeah,
plays
they just put 2
two.
float stone
Yeah.
actually. So I wouldn't have got rid of that bent spoon there. Just added the option for the float stone onto the Wobbuffet.
Well, Ian, I'm glad you were safe from the tornado warnings and hail warnings for the 2 hours there. So glad you're good. So Groudon didn't really get much. They just went for the N last turn and going for an N again this turn. At least we have the Goomy down though, which again I cannot get over the irony. But did we not play the N?
We did not play N.
What just happened? Yes, there's lots of Goomies going on here. We got Ian with the golden Goomy in chat, and we got a Goomy on the screen in the card, and also our Night March player's username is Goomy. So there's so much Goomy. It is so gooey in the stream right now. So much goom. There's another Juniper. Could we have not dowsing machine for a card there? I didn't.
Yeah, maybe there was just nothing.
I was like, I didn't see anything in the discard pile. It was, they're playing pretty fast, which you do like to see. Sometimes it's okay to take your time a little bit, but they are just cruising right through. And sensing weakness is a thing too. Obviously sensing that the Groudon player is not having the best start ever. Very funny. Give me 35 went 7-1 drop in late night 6 months ago. I thought it was you too. I kept calling them Ian. Wow, and a huge Juniper getting rid of a Focus Sash.
Ugh. Yeah, that's very, very interesting. I don't know why they didn't just end there. I mean, they didn't end last turn either, which is interesting. The BS get for end last turn pass and then Juniper this turn, so I'm not sure if they were hoping to top deck something or what, but...
Yeah, not sure what the deal was with that, and there's still no Groudon in sight. So maybe they're thinking like, that playing the Juniper this turn, they're thinking like, okay, well, I need a bunch of cards. I want to just guarantee that I get a Groudon down, but I still don't see one. There's a Focus Sash on the Miltank and a Beach. Now I will say this. Groudon does play a Ninja Boy, so that Focus Sash on the Miltank is actually not entirely irrelevant. It does actually, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume that they have Ninja Boy and Primal Groudon in hand based on the fact that they chose to attach the Focus Sash. So this is a good end from Goomy here.
Yeah, and even if they don't have it, though, just the fact that it's an option means that, you're not really punished for putting it down.
Yeah, I think... Yeah. You can be a little bit just because, sure, you get to draw one more card with Beach, but, they Beach, that's what they said. I don't know if I love that, just because if they never find that Ninja Boy, I mean, these Focus Sashes are so important against Night March.
Well, and the other one is gone, too, so they are currently without access to any Focus Sash on a Groudon. One's discard, one's on the Miltank.
Yeah, that does not seem, like a winning strategy. I mean, last game we saw the Primal Groudon get hit for 260, which means even with a Hard Charm, if they can hit for the same number again, they're still one-shotting that Groudon.
Right. It's not unlikely to be able to hit numbers that high, especially with the Choice Band and the Electro Powers if they're hitting with a Joltik. So definitely doable to hit through that Hard Charm. And the Trainer's Mail, we got all kinds of actions flying in from this Night March player just before that Juniper. And plenty of options with this hand, so we're just going to chill with that and take the KO on the Wobbuffet. Just keeping the pressure on. That's kind of the key thing, is just you're not giving Groudon time to attach energy, Primal Evolve, and use Beach. So this Robosub's a big find, gives you a little bit more time. And then the Faba.
Yep, 2 best cards in this matchup.
And I actually didn't even notice that there were 2 Fabas in the list. So we have, obviously, the VS Seekers, 4 copies of VS Seeker, but also 2 Faba.
That makes, that makes the last game even more kind of unfortunate. Because I think that they were in a really good position to win win the last game. Whereas this one, not looking quite as great.
Yeah, there was definitely like play potential in the last one, but
yeah, we didn't even see them do much last turn. So
and just a pass with no. I mean,
yeah. So I mean, I would probably like to see. I mean, I think maybe Rope, Dazzling are both gone. Otherwise, I would like to see Rope that turn. But I'm gonna assume
finally a beach. I mean, this might just be a game over right here. Even with the Electro Power top deck, we get the Order Pad head, so you can go grab an item out of the deck. And I think there might be a way to get the KO here. I didn't see if there was another Floatstone in deck. I'm not quite sure. Gumi is playing pretty fast, so it's hard for me to keep up with the what they have access to.
Well, we'll take a look on this Ultra Ball. They can't attack with Joltik this turn, no. They can retreat and attack, but that's it. I don't know if that's enough. I've seen their discard pile, but...
3 hydrates? Alright. I got you, Gumi. I'm sorry, Ian. You gotta keep it straight here, because now we got too many Gumis. Alright, 3 hydrates. I got you.
I mean, realistically, they're in such a commanding position here, no matter what. I mean, all the Extreme Enigma has in play is 1 Primal Groudon with 1 energy, so... However, if they can get that Primal Groudon out of the active, like this, they buy themselves 1 more turn. Gumi's deck is getting super thin.
Yeah, there's still too many DCEs left. And now we can go for the Sky Return play.
Again next turn. I think they just have to retreat. I don't know if the Sky Return wins in the game.
But you're so far ahead still that, like... I mean, how do you even lose from this position? You still have energy plus 2 attackers. They even have plus 60 damage in hand. Well, I guess they have the Floatstone on the Joltik, but... this just gives them so much time still. You know, it removes the Shaman from play, so it can't be Guzma stalled again. And you just keep the energy
getting close
around.
to decking out, though.
That's true. I suppose you could end yourself to 2.
So now we can see a Faba coming up on this Marsha, right? Not this turn, but I mean they're gonna draw 1. They have to end this turn, which means they're not gonna have the
energy, right?
Guaranteed DC after the Faba. The only way to find it's gonna be Shaman, which will deck them out.
Or they could just flip the DCE.
So the Primal Groudon player can get their Primal Groudon out of the active again. That's really all they need to do. Well, they do the DC off of the end, so...
Yeah, that's
definitely step 1.
Step 1 for sure. And a Shaman, too, so you can see your entire deck next turn. There's another card you need.
So we're gonna see Nest Ball, probably for a Wobbuffet, and then probably just a hard retreat into Wobbuffet. Hopefully they have a Fob. Well, hopefully for them they have a Faba.
Well, of course, the Marshadow can't attack with the Wobbuffet in the active, but I mean this is just relying on them not having the DCE, which we just see the DCE in hand, so you can just retreat and use that Night March. And Night March with Gumi here going to move into the finals, take down Primal Groudon in 2 quick games, and move on to the finals.